Record.
All right, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a great night. Glad to see your faces. Feel free to turn on your camera so we can see you or not if you're eating dinner or, just feeling bashful this evening. Um, Here's the agenda. We'll drop it again. Christina from Indiana, nice to see you. I'm from Fort Wayne area. Went to East Noble High School. So the first thing on tonight's agenda is just an update on the book. So we wrote a book collectively as a staff. I helped with the climate and environmental justice chapter. The book is it's about plastic, but it's really meant to be an empowering handbook for what to do about it. And as a conversation starter, organizing tool and to be used by advocates like ourselves. Everybody who's every LGA or every local group and affiliate will get a copy, one copy per group, and we're covering the cost of that. So be sure to share your mailing address. There's a form in the agenda, and also we'll include it in the follow-up email. And we really encourage you to have a house party around this book. So the book hasn't actually been released yet. It's coming out on December 2nd in time for the holidays, the new year. And so we're taking, the publisher, New Press, is taking pre-orders now, which you can also pre-order on our website or through the publisher's website. And the instructions are on our website to pre-order the book. If you pre-order, I think 10 or more, there's a discount. So for like book clubs or encouraging your local bookstore to pre-order this book, um, there's a toolkit also in the agenda to help you with that. So we encourage house parties or just book clubs to use this book to connect with your neighbors, your community, and use it as an organizing tool for base building. So getting people activated by educating them first on the issues with plastics in a way that's like fun and collaborative. I love book clubs. You can have snacks, you can drink wine or drink tea, and just camaraderie in these very dark, challenging times that we're in. And then once people, are a little more aware of the problems with plastic, they may be more inclined to join your campaign. So if you want help with setting up a house party or instructions on that, there's that toolkit again in the agenda, and we're always here to support and answer any questions. And be sure that we have a mailing address for someone in your group so that we can send you your advanced copy. They're going to be mailed in November ahead of that official release date on December 2nd. So, any questions on the book?
When are we going to get ours?
They'll be mailed in November, as long as we
November.
have your address.
Yes, do.
Perfect.
At the last meeting, I tried to order one, and I did not have the code that was supposed to be supplied. And
Code for a discount code.
yeah.
That's for bulk purchasing where you're just ordering
Oh,
one.
okay.
Well,
Oh,
actually, you can, if you go to New Press's site, you can use the code Beyond Plastics 30
yeah, that's where I
and get
was.
30% off.
Okay, Beyond Plastic 30. Okay, that's
Yep.
where I was at New Press. Okay,
Can
thank
you
you.
type
Yeah.
that in the chat, Suzette? Because I didn't
Yeah.
actually realize that.
And just so you know, the New Press site can be a little wonky. So if it's slow, just kind of have a little patience with it as you're expecting it to do the next thing, and it just takes a little while if you're on there.
So, following the theme of publications, we have another publication that just came out this week. This is focused on industry and special interest lobbying in the New York State legislature to kill the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act. I say kill, it's not dead. There's a 2,000 ways to block a bill and only one way to pass it. So they have the easier job. But we took a look at lobby filings. Everyone who spends more than $5,000 in New York State is required to file with the New York Ethics Commission. We do as well. I'm a registered lobbyist. I have to report every legislator I talk to, how long I talked to them, and the bill numbers that I had talked to them about. So we took a look at those filings and found some pretty alarming information, or a pretty alarming look at just how much special interests are spending to maintain the status quo and prevent positive legislation that would protect the health of communities, reduce waste going to landfills and incinerators, reinvigorate the recycling system. They're blocking all that. And so our findings found that the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act was the first and second most lobbied bill during the final 2 months of the state legislative session. So there's thousands of bills that are introduced in any given session. And in 2025, just this year, industry had a 4-to-1 advantage over the grassroots to block the bill. So that means that for every one public interest lobbyist like myself, there were 4 industry lobbyists. So a total of 107 companies filed that they were lobbying against this bill. Sorry, 106. And 23 were lobbying in support of it. Now, there's a caveat to this in that in lobby reporting, they do not have to say whether or not they're lobbying for or against a bill. So this is based on our best guess and the information that we have. For example, we have many memos of opposition that we've seen with Kraft Heinz on it, Amazon, the American Chemistry Council, the New York Business Council. So we know that they're lobbying against it based on the literature that they've circulated amongst the legislature. So total 106 companies filed that they were lobbying against it, 23 lobbying in support of it. Now, in New York, there are also a lot of very powerful lobbying firms. It's kind of a revolving door of legislators, staffers, people who work in the governor's office, cycle in and out, and they end up going, a lot of them end up going to work for these firms that then retain clients where they lobby on behalf of their clients in the legislature, and they leverage all those connections that they have. So the report found that 21 of the 50 highest paid lobbying firms in New York were retained by industry opponents. So their strategy, the industry strategy, is go hire all the lobby firms, and then the grassroots don't. We did retain one lobby firm, but pickings are slim because you don't want to hire a lobby firm that is also lobbying against the bill. That's a conflict of interest. So despite the fact that 73% of New Yorkers who were polled by Siena, a bipartisan 73%, support the Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act, it did not come to a vote in the assembly, and it's because of this intense lobby spending. In total, those 107 companies spent nearly $10 million lobbying on this bill and other bills. We can't tell how much specifically they spent on this bill because they don't have to divulge how much they're spending on each bill. The New York Ethics Commission should probably change that. But it's still a staggering amount. And as Senator Harckham, the main sponsor of the bill, said, these are Washington, D.C. dollars being spent to kill this bill. And I find it exquisitely ironic that their main argument for against the bill is affordability, that if they have to pay to change their packaging, or if they have to use different materials or get toxic chemicals out of their packaging, that they will have to pay more for their packaging and they're going to pass that on to the consumer. I would turn that around and say, do they pass the cost of how much they're lobbying to kill this bill on to the consumer? Because it's quite a lot. So this is a David versus Goliath fight. If you're in New York, please share this report with your state senator and your state assembly member. Post it on social media. You can repost it. We sent it to everyone in New York today with an invitation to join us on January 13th in Albany for a lobby day. We are not daunted by this David versus Goliath fight. Because the grassroots don't have the funding, we do have the people power. I wanted to share this with everyone because I think that this is a really interesting snapshot of industry versus, the people. And we're seeing this play out across the board where special interests use their dollars to defend the status quo or to oppose the will of the people. So that report's in the agenda, and if there's any questions on it, please do drop that in the chat and I'll try to address it. And other announcements are our grassroots advocacy training is coming up later this month. So please share that with your friends and members of your groups. It is no longer a 4-hour training. It's a 1-day, 2-hour training. And it's been revamped and redesigned. It's being offered on 3 different dates: October 25th, which is a Saturday from 1 to 3, Tuesday, October 28th from 7 to 9, and Thursday, October 30th from 7 to 9. So there's 3 different options for that training. And then that's it for announcements. Does anyone have any announcements they want to share? Any wins or new items from your neck of the woods? And if not, that's okay too. Wait, I saw some hands. Was it Susan? Go ahead, Susan.
Sorry. So I was just telling Suzette before we got on. So last night I went to the City of Columbia's recycling meeting. So their recycling plant got destroyed by a tornado last year. And so they are in the plans of revising, and the insurance will do as far as paying for that, but they're trying to improve. So it was really cool to hang and be with all kind of people that had booths about plastic reduction and, how aluminum's made with bauxite. And I mean, it was just really cool. So anyway, it was unusual for me to do something like that, but it was really cool.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Do they accept plastic at the facility? I'd be
So,
curious.
yes. So right now, actually, Columbia is giving it to Jefferson City right now, that is bundling and transporting it to like Indiana. I mean, it was an amazing thing that I learned about. But right now, they're just doing 1 and 2, and they're blue bagging. And so it was kind of interesting, and you guys might, if you ever do this, they had a little booth that they had a miscellaneous consumer items, and they had trash or recycle. And so it was a game where you went in and you chose an item, and then you either put it in trash or recycle. And it was an educational experience, because then they watched, and then they gave you a little thing afterwards that told you what can be recycled and what is not. So it was kind of interesting, it was interactive, and not everybody knew, that stuff. But anyway, so it was just an idea for anybody else that may, have a booth sometime.
Yeah, interesting that it's being sent to Indiana. I know a lot of states in the region send their trash to Indiana because the landfill tipping fees are very low.
Yeah.
So that's a big issue there.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Stephen?
Well, one of the things that I've been trying to hook up with is there's a local group that's called Florida Regional Environmental Group. And the fellow that organized it is a water person and very interested. He's looking at sewage spills and everything else. But where I'm trying to go ahead and weasel in and get him to get the local water, uh, city water people to go ahead and file a report that's for everybody to go ahead and look at as far as the amount of microplastics that are in the water that we're drinking that's coming out of our tap, since so many microplastics are going through the sewer plant and getting put back in the environment. So I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm going to go ahead and be knocking on this guy's door and emailing him until we get a response, because he had a lot of contact with these people and now he's lobbying for, you know, sane water practices. So and I got really involved with nanoplastics and microplastics lately and the poisoning that we're getting from it. So I don't know how we can stop it, but something needs to be done. And I noticed it was on the news the last couple of days on CNN and NBC. And I haven't ever seen them discuss it, you know, in a news broadcast. So
Mm.
Uh,
Keep us posted on how that how that goes, whether they do a report.
Stephen's also in Tucson, and he's helped us work with our zero waste, and he's had a long-standing commitment to this issue. And we are probably going to help him as well as do our Stop the Stuff plastic flyer. We're just getting ready now. Interesting, there's some neighborhood groups here in Tucson that are doing demonstrations and inviting the city waste the city recycling officials out to talk. And a lot of good points were brought up, a lot of clarification on what actually was accepted and what the fate of it was, why they're not doing glass, for example, why they're still doing plastic, why they don't do paper because of jamming in the machines, all that. There's a lot of interest that's fragmented, but various neighborhood groups, I think, are getting on board now.
Mm. Thank you for letting us know about that, and I would love to see a report if a report comes out of this effort. I would really love to see it and amplify it. Did you have something else you wanted to share, Stephen? With a PH?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm still waiting to see if my grant for determining microplastics and nanoplastics on reusable containers is coming through. If it does come through, Stephen Philbrook, you'll be getting a report on that by next spring as to what
great.
actually the baseline is for when you do use reusables. We also are coalescing a sustainable or reusable Tucson group, as well as an infrastructure group to address how both economically and socially we can use circular economy and reuse and what the economic impact is. Just right off, we know that a 10% change would be several $billion more to the Tucson economy.
Mm.
And we're going into all of our justifications for all of these changes that we see in both energy and water and in social impacts.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that update. Also, there's a great conversation in the chat happening about Ridwell, which is a mail-in recycling scheme. So Suzette just dropped some info on that, but we're seeing this pop up. It's similar to TerraCycle. Jasara?
Hi, everyone. How are you? So I just wanted to report that I joined the sustainability committee in Connecticut, where I'm actually spending most of my time at a town in Washington, two sustainability committees, and we are going to screen. We are all plastic people at the library, and we're expecting over 50 people. We're heavily promoting it because, as you said, Alexis, we just still need to reach out to people to educate and inform them about the toxicity of microplastic, which it seems that it still has not really completely registered in people's minds. So we're going to do that and hope for the best. So we keep pushing.
Awesome. Make sure you have a sign up sheet and then, add people to your email list, follow up with them after the event with some sort of action to take while it's like fresh in their mind.
Yeah. What do you think would be the best way for them to like sort of drive them into like the Beyond Plastic website? Because I feel you guys do such a good job with so many different aspects of plastic pollution. Um, and I'm trying.
Well, there's lots of actions on our website, so you could, drive them to that, or you could just have a sign up sheet that says sign up for Beyond Plastics mailing list,
Mhm.
and then send it to us after the event, and we'll add them to our mailing list. Then they'll start getting, the information as it comes out.
Okay, very good.
If
I
you're
will.
gonna, a good idea also would be to have like some printouts of maybe recent articles, maybe some flyers or action alerts, um, whatever you think would be appropriate and actionable. We have a flyer for people to pre-order our book, though maybe that's preaching to the choir at that point.
Mhm.
If you want some ideas, I could put some like printouts in the chat. Or actually, we have a tabling toolkit, don't we, Suzette?
Yeah, I'll drop that in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Suzanne.
Perfect.
So just
And let
print
us know how,
out some of those flyers and have them available for people to grab.
yes,
Okay, very good. Thank you.
and let us know how it goes. Good
Yes, I
luck.
know. Do you know who I bumped into at the Climate Week was um now I escape my name. She's now with she started this new organization called Peace Nap. Megan.
Oh, Megan Wall?
Yes, yes,
Oh, yes.
yes. I bumped into her. That was really good.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
miss her.
Yes, she's doing great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Miriam?
you, Alexis.
Hey everyone, I'm Miriam Gordon. I'm with the Story of Stuff, and I'm the reuse program director. And I guess Stephen's comment about a reuse grant piqued my interest. Stephen, I'd love to know what it is you applied for funding for and from whom. It made me realize that I should let you know about our grassroots reuse grant. So I put a link to our reuse fund application in the chat. We have earmarked $20,000 this year to give out in up to $5,000 grants for food service and beverage container reuse.
Okay. Thank you,
And
Mary. I appreciate it. Arizona Department of Environmental Quality is where the application went to.
oh, okay.
They have $1 million fund for recycling reuse. It's authorized by legislature each year, so you never know whether you're going to be there next year or not.
And what did you apply for? You said something about microplastics.
Yes, looking at contaminants and microplastics, both with chromatograph and with microscopic chromatography, to look at what the baseline levels are on both the virgin food container for reuse and for after use.
Oh, super interesting. Would love to connect with you offline, Stephen, about that. And then the other thing I just wanted to let you know is that we are running a reuse changemaker boot camp. So it's kind of, after you do plastics change making boot camp. If you're interested in learning about reuse change making, you can sign up for our boot camp in November. Thanks.
Thanks, Miriam.
Oh,
Glad to
also,
see you.
we are also doing, I am part of several reuse coalitions across the country, facilitate uh, two in the Bay Area, and we have one other in the Bay Area. And we're also doing 3 screenings of We Are All Plastic People now towards Halloween. So the theme is microplastics are spooky. And we'll have a reuse solutions panel after each one of the screenings. So I don't know if any of you are in California. If you are, I could, in the Bay Area, I could put a link to the screening, to the registration. But I think I don't think there is anyone here in California.
I know Louise is. I don't know if she's in the Bay Area though, because I'm geographically challenged. Um,
Yeah, I'm not someone who can come in person, but if anything's online, I'll love to look at it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I'm not in the Bay Area, but I'm in California in the Monterey, which is the Central Coast. But
Oh,
I can pass that information on to my colleagues in the Bay Area.
okay. Well, I'll put the invitation in the chat then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan?
Hi. I live in a pretty small town on the Berkshires in Western Massachusetts, and we've had a public library that was pretty inactive for many years, and now suddenly we have a new director who is super supportive of environmental and anti-plastics and is doing all sorts of great outreach. And one of the things that they were just boasting to me about, get ready to cringe, a grant to do TerraCycle in the library. And I said, oops, I don't know that that's a good organization. And I said, can you cancel it? And they said, no, we've been awarded the grant and we now have to have those boxes in the library. So I don't know if anybody else has run across this recently. And I don't know if the grant came from TerraCycle or how they got kind of lured into it. But, when I tried to explain to them that TerraCycle is not a great organization to support and promote in the community, they felt bad, but they kind of felt like they couldn't do anything about it at that point. I don't know if anybody has any comments or replies about that.
Any
Things
ideas?
things can always be canceled.
They seemed to make it sound like they really couldn't, like they'd already signed something, or I don't know. You think I should push harder for them to cancel? I
Yeah.
kind of wasn't sure how hard to push.
Maybe get others to push them to cancel, if you can. Or write a letter. Yeah. That's tough.
Okay,
Get the city's legal team to take a look at the contract and see if they can get them out of there.
Yeah, it's a small town. We don't have a lot of that kind of resources. So, but I'll try to talk to them again about it. I'll go back. I mean, they're very sympathetic when I explained, and then I wondered about, does anybody know about the things that TerraCycle collects that aren't plastics? Like, is it worth it to do battery? I kind of wondered if maybe if they did the non-plastic collections, that might be a little bit more productive. Nobody has experience with that. Okay.
No.
All right.
Susan,
Thanks.
how many people are on your council?
Council?
Yeah, the city council.
It's a town.
Or town.
In New England, and we have a select board of 5 people and a town manager. It's a small town.
Do you have good friends on that select committee?
I do have a friend on the select committee who's very environmental.
Well, I would get a bunch of signatures and go talk to that person.
I'm not sure that person can do anything about the library.
Is that county?
Excuse me?
Is the library county?
No, it's the town.
Oh, okay. I'll just suggest, usually if you get one person who's champion to help you leverage on a political board, it can go a long way sometimes to convincing the other people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll talk to her about it and see what if she's willing to try to make, she already stands up for a lot of environmental stuff. So I don't know if she'll take on one more issue, but I'll try. Good. Those are good suggestions. Thank you.
Try it and report back to us next month with how it went. There was a question in the chat about requiring reusable dishes for on-site dining and how this is required in other countries. There are a few municipalities in the US and Canada, and I just put a brief from Upstream from 2 years ago on a policy brief. And Miriam, do you have more recent information?
Yes, that's something that I started when I was at Upstream, is that policy model. And that's what the reuse, that's what we're training people to do, is to advocate for policies like all kinds of reuse in food service, reuse for on-site dining, reuse in takeout, reuse in large venues, reuse at government facilities. We have a policy model that I'd be happy to share. And I do have a slide deck that I can put into the chat that has the latest. Somebody needs to be muted. That has the latest stats on these policies right now in North America. I believe there's 42 cities or municipalities that have reuse for on-site dining as a policy. But that is just one of many policies that are part of sort of the policy package of reuse in food service. So if you're curious about that kind of policy and would like us to do a presentation for your group about those kinds of policies, or if you want to learn about it, come to the Reuse Changemaker Bootcamp where we'll be going over this stuff. But I'd be happy to go fish for one of my slide decks right now and put a link in the chat so you can get the latest and greatest. We're going to be putting our policy tracker online, but it's not online yet. So slide deck is best thing that I can do right now. But this is what I do. This is what I do for a living.
Thank
Local
you.
reusable foodware policy and building reuse into beverage container policies like bottle bills.
Mithiam, are you going to offer the boot camp again in the future? I couldn't sign up for it because it is just conflicting with my schedule, but I was so interested
Yes,
in
I can put my email in the chat. We're saving names for future boot camps, and we will be posting them for 2026. Our plan is to have 4 of them in 2026.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm.
Great discussion, everyone, and great discussion in the chat as well. Thank you for everyone who shared. And we have another question for you before we go to the breakout rooms, and that is what, why can we reformat this monthly meeting to be more useful for you? We want some feedback, some input on structure of how we support you in your efforts. We have the once a month monthly meeting. Do we need different meetings for different topics? What do we need? Because we are restructuring the trainings, we're restructuring the activist network, because we're growing and we're just doing a lot of behind the scenes scaffolding right now, and would really love your input because we have a staff retreat next week and we would love to take your thoughts to that retreat. So open question, please just chime in if you feel so moved.
The Action Network is a little bit hard to go ahead and get started with because I'm trying to go ahead and write a decent petition And I just started, so I can't see, or I don't know how well it's gonna go. But I've been looking at other petitions that have done the job, like the one Greenpeace did, when they went ahead and got Trader Joe's to stop giving plastic bags at the cashier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll report back if I get any traction on it and
Yeah, Action
how
Group's
it
definitely
works.
a learning curve, and really lean on their tutorials. They have a lot of great tutorials, YouTube tutorials on their website. But I agree, it's not easy to get started with.
Stephen, I have two groups, one for Beyond Plastics, one for Upstream, and I can send you those names of the groups I've created if you want to use it as an email.
Thank you. I know one of the hardest things to do is to go ahead and actually get the copy of the petitions, you know, because it would only take changing a few words and then getting the ball rolling. I know our local food co-op, probably 90% of the people that shop there would just as soon not have plastic bags in front of all the fruit and vegetables. But, you
Mhm.
know, they just keep putting it out. And no matter how many times you talk to the manager, one person doesn't ever get anything done. So that's the reason why I decided to go to the petition.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Maybe if enough people say something.
Stephen, we approached the co-op there on Fourth, and they were very interested, but they didn't ever really get back to us.
Right. Well, that's it. That, you know, it's the main grocery company that I deal with is Publix, which is a southeastern regional and Florida baby that's branching out all over America. They're not as big as Kroger,
I'm gonna
but
just
they
sorry, Stephen, I'm gonna just pause this here. I love this conversation, and but I want to bring it back to feedback on the meetings.
okay.
Um,
Sorry.
if we could, nope, all good. Don't worry. So Julie, do you have feedback on the meetings?
Yes, you said you wanted to get some ideas for like going forward. I am in the process right now of establishing a new group here in the Phoenix, Arizona area called Plastic Free Phoenix. I've got my small group organized. We've applied with the Arizona Corporation Commission, and so we're in the active pending status right now. And then now I have, I have my steps that I need to go through to get going, the next things we need to do. But the thing that I would find really helpful, and maybe you have it already and I just haven't seen it, would be if you had some people that were willing to do some one-on-one mentoring, because I'm basically like, this is what I want to do. I know what I want to do, but I know just by listening to everybody on this call, and I took the two classes, one that Judith did and one that Megan did in the last year. So, I mean, I have that information. But
Mhm.
if I could have somebody that I could just, who could talk to me once a month and I could like say, okay, this is where I'm going, and they already have been doing it. And like somebody,
Mhm.
Stephen from Tucson, you sound like you have like an amazing depth of knowledge and you're actually right here in my state. So
Mhm.
that would be something if you can match up mentors with mentees, that would be really helpful.
Mhm. Okay, great suggestion. Thank you for that.
And then
Anyone? Oh, go ahead.
And then I'm just going to put a call out. Stephen in Tucson, can I put my email in the chat and could we make a connection a little bit? Thank you. Okay. I appreciate it.
Same here. I'd love to get your email, Stephen.
Love the networking that's
Just
happening.
go ahead and email at mwine1@iCloud.
Can you put that in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have suggestions or thoughts No wish is too big here. And if you don't, that's okay. We would love you to chew on this question and send your ideas to Suzette, because this is going to be an ongoing process. A deep dive on reuse policy. Love that. Writing that down. All right. If there's no more feedback right now, that's fine. I kind of put everyone on the spot. I'll just note that we have 2 new fact sheets, one on plastics in building materials and products, one on plastics in the human brain. Both of those would be great for your film screening, Jasara, if you're interested. And let's go to the breakout rooms. So Suzette, could you set them up? We'll do, as always, we'll do skip the stuff and single-use bans and artificial turf. And we'll just go as long as people want to keep talking. All right, so you should see the rooms now. If you want to talk about skip the stuff, plastic bans, stay in this room. If you want to talk about turf, leave this room, go to the turf room.
Which breakout room is Suzette set up? It says it's in room 1, but I don't know whether it's
We are
artificial turf
room
or-
1. This is room 1. We'll talk about plastic bans.
Okay, thank you.
Or whatever people want to talk about if we're not feeling that. But I know the turf folks always love to connect and they have a lot to talk about. Oh, a lot of people just left. Did people not go to the turf room? I'm confused. It says there's 22 participants,
Uh,
but none
yeah.
in the turf room.
I don't think there was anything for the turf. I think that's why people left. I don't see it either, by the way. Sorry.
You don't see
Oh.
turf?
No, I
I
don't have,
see
oh, I'm
turf.
on an iPad. I'm sorry, I don't have it. I just see this.
Mary, please. So I'll send Mary to the turf room. That's kind of weird. I don't know why that
She'll be
happened.
by herself Wait, what? Hold on, let me go to the turf room and see what's going on.
Okay.
I don't see an option for it. It
You know,
just
I
says,
was gonna say too, I'm like on my phone and then I had a hard time figuring out how to join the breakout. Like
Yeah,
I
don't worry
didn't know
about
which
it.
ones were which.
So
Yeah.
if you stay here, we'll talk about skip the stuff or bag bans. If you want to talk about turf, I can move you to the turf room.
but there
There's no
isn't-
one in there. That's so
there's no
weird.
option. I never went in there either. So I was just giving up. Yeah, all it says is you have been assigned to room 1. That's all. There was no option to go anywhere else.
Yeah, I
So-
also got a bunch of people are in room 1. Like that's where I got sent, and then they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this one is banned," and I was like, "Oh wait, I."
Oh, wait, there is a room. There's room 1. Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't another one. I
Let's
think that's
make-
why people
okay.
left.
Let's make room 1 turf room. I'm gonna go there and tell them what. I was like, where the heck did everybody go?
I don't know if they're still here. Well, then I'll go to.
All right, now I'm confused.
I think
Okay.
like another room was created and then that one was supposed to be the turf one, but everyone got sent there. So then they thought that it was the band's one.
I don't
And
know
so-
how that happened. I wonder, I guess I did something that I'm not aware of. Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So then that's why I came here because I was like, I think I did something wrong, but now I know it happened to everyone.
No, I think you need to blame me. I'm pretty sure it has to be me. I think all I did was set up a turf room, but I don't know. Okay. Well, let's see if anybody comes back, but I would say the floor is open for whoever wants to share what they're working on or have questions. We're losing people by the minute.
Yeah, everyone's just like, I mean, I guess for me, I live in Florida, so for me, banning is hard. Oh, look, everyone's coming here. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we were in the wrong category.
Oh, I don't even know how that happened. It's so bizarre.
Okay, so room 1 is now turf room. Just ignore the room that says turf. If you want to go talk about turf, go to room 1. Otherwise, stay here. I'm gonna go to the turf room and facilitate that if that's all right, Suzette. And you
Yeah.
stay here? Okay.
Yeah.
Now how do I get there? Okay.
Clearly, I hit something funky. Okay, Amanda, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were midstream when all this
Yeah,
happened.
I was just saying my thing is not completely on topic because I live in Florida where it's hard to ban stuff, and it was just kind of a question that I came across because we have here, Biscayne Bay. It's like a very fragile ecosystem, and then we have a problem here where a lot of people don't pick up their dog poop. But then, so we've like come into a situation where, as environmentalists, like we want to raise awareness about picking up dog poop to not go into the bay and like cause algae blooms. But then what way can you pick up dog poop if not using plastic bags? Like I've kind of been researching and it's kind of like almost no option is good. And so I figured you all would be great people to help pick my brain and see, because it's like you also shouldn't compost dog poop because it has bacteria. So then I'm like, if we encourage people to use paper bags, is that then confusing for them that they think that they can compost it? But then we don't want to use plastic because of all the reasons we know plastic is bad. So yeah, just kind of wanted to put it out there if any of you have ever dealt with this, or if any ideas come to your mind on what to do about dog poop.
Yes, you could be lucky like the city of Tallahassee, and they actually put in the ordinance that you had to pick it up in a plastic bag. So I don't know if I use a paper bag, if I'll be arrested or not, but that's the way our ordinance reads.
Oh, wow.
And we're in Florida, so we share the same governor.
Yeah.
How about if you put it in a recycled plastic bag? Is that one step better?
Yeah, so that's like kind of where I've been like, okay, maybe recycled, so at least we're telling people not to use like virgin plastics, but then we're telling people it's okay to be recycling plastic, which like really we want people to like be reducing their use of plastic. So it's like this like very complicated thing where it's like kind of everything is like misleading in terms of the education we want to communicate to the public.
I think when it comes to like a lot of medical stuff and, animal, fluids and things like that, I'm not sure we can get away from plastics. That might be one of the areas where you just got to use the plastic and put it in the garbage. And it's just, I don't know. Maureen is saying no.
Yeah.
How about
Yes.
biodegradable plastic bags? Is that any better?
They are bad. They are
Hooper
bad for the
scooper.
Yeah.
soil.
They're still bad.
They're still
you're-
bad, but
you're
isn't it a little
you're-
bit better?
No, because they're bad for the soil.
People,
Biodegradable plastics are bad for the soil.
Is that the same thing as compostable? Because
Yes.
we're not, it is.
I've looked deeply into this recently. I've
Mhm.
explored like the ASTM standards and this is all on the Beyond Plastic website as well, but the compostable or biodegradable, what that means is that it's no longer visible to the eye.
Yeah.
So the stuff is still there. It's just in very small pieces. And it's same thing with their PFAS requirements. When they say no PFAS, like with BPI certification, which is the most popular compostability certification, it says no PFAS, but when you dig into the weeds, what no PFAS means is that it is below 100 parts per billion, I think is the unit they use. And I can tell you that I'm fighting a biosludge problem at my wastewater facility. And the allowable amount right now that we're talking is 20 parts per billion. So 5 times lower than what BPI is allowing in their compostable plastics. So the compostable plastics is a terrible greenwashing non-solution. It's making things worse. It's putting plastics and toxins into the soil. Where I live is very agricultural. People are putting this onto their crops. It's getting into the food system. So do not use compostable plastics and don't condone it anywhere. They are insidious.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, that was good. Maureen, do you want to add something?
Well, we've used paper bags for years, but we dispose of the paper bag full of dog poo in our own incinerator. And we burn our own garbage, which is probably illegal in our county, but we do it anyway. We don't put it into the landfill, but even paper poo in the landfill would be better than plastic. It's going to degrade a lot faster, but there's all kinds of issues around water contamination near landfills in general. So it's only going to add to that problem. It is a sticky issue, but I would just encourage people to at least reuse the recycled plastic or the plastic that they get from packaging. Reuse what they already have, if that's better than nothing, and use paper if you can.
Yeah, my dog has died, but when I used to walk her, I used paper bags. But when I came home, rather than disposing of it in the trash, I flushed it.
Yes.
Yeah. There's
I
that
mean,
too.
poop, toilet, you know,
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Mary,
probably
you're up.
works.
Mary Williams.
Yeah, Susan, I was going to ask, is for compostable. So I'm in California and we have a new law that took into effect January 1st that all the pre-checkout bags, these are the produce bags and anything else like that, needs to be compostable instead of plastic. So I'm wondering if there's a difference in the compostable bags versus the compostable foodware.
No, I'm talking about, I think, any compostable plastic. I mean, the other thing about compostable plastics is that they contain all the same additives as regular plastics. They have the phthalates and the bisphenols and it's got all the same toxins. So that's a misguided law, unfortunately. And I have a little like a little net lingerie bag that I keep in my purse, and I put my produce into that.
Oh yeah, I have all my own produce bags. I'm just wondering for all these businesses that are now trying to comply with this new law.
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
laws, the problem is that the laws are, it seems to me that all the regulations are 5 or 10 years behind the science. And this is one case where, every 10 years ago, everybody thought compostable plastics were the answer, and bioplastics, everyone is into all that stuff. And now we know that stuff is not good. So
yeah,
that's a
we're just
problem.
restarting the rulemaking on SB 54, which was that all packaging must be either reusable, recyclable, or compostable. And so it's just taken so many years to get to this point, and it was a big win at the time, but here we are.
Right. Well, the other problem with recycled plastics in foodware is that there's such a mishmash of toxins. If you take Megan's course, she talks about this. There's such a mishmash, you don't know what's in them. And there are all sorts of toxins in the recycled plastic. So you don't really want them using that for food storage either.
Right.
Actually,
Thank
each round of
you.
recycling concentrates those contaminants even more.
Melissa?
Thanks. I am thinking that by using the bioplastics or I don't know if it's compostable or just bio stuff, that it is at least not digging up fossil fuels. You still go throw it away, don't compost it, don't try and recycle it, but at least it's not fossil fuels you're digging up. Is that a reasonable train of thought?
I mean, my answer about bioplastics now, this is a little bit different from compostable, because bioplastics mean that you're now talking about using agricultural products to produce the plastic. And yes, you're correct that you're not using fossil fuels, but it's kind of a problem when you're taking agricultural land that we need for food production, and you're now dedicating that to creating a disposable product like plastics. So, my understanding is that we really want to discourage plastics as much as possible in as many places as we possibly can. And I'm interested in hearing about the testing with the reusable containers, because all the reuse systems that I'm aware of locally are using plastic containers. And I've wondered about the leaching from those, but people kind of make the same argument. It's a step towards or step away from the worst case situation. But I think bioplastics are also very much discouraged.
Agreed. Susan?
So I just wanted a real quick comment. So a lot of times, like if I go to PetSmart to go get my dog groomed, I do carry plastic and she always has to go. It doesn't matter if she just went at home. She always has to go in the, parking lot or whatever. But I just take and pick it up, like with a napkin if I can, and I deposit it in the receptacle that's already got a plastic line. So I figure that it is one less plastic in a plastic. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I have a cat and I have toilet trained my cat with flushable litter pea husk. Okay, so the cat's doing okay, but everything is flushable and it is much better than having to empty cat litter. Just saying.
Tip of the day right there. Thank you, Susan. Sarah?
Yes, hi. Yeah, it's a big problem, but I understand Susan's point that it's not a good solution. I just wish I had a better suggestion, but I have another concern, which is I wanted to hear your guys' input, which are those little plastic stickers that they put on every single product that is sold in the supermarkets. Even the organic markets, they have in every single lemon, every single avocado, and it's just like it drives him nuts. I actually go looking for the ones, not that the ones that are not going to spoil, but I'm looking for the the stickers should pick a line that doesn't have those plastics. Is there anything that you heard of or any groups that are trying to stop though? It's insane because I mean dog poop is a hard thing, like medical tools, but that to me is so stupid. It's just so unnecessary.
I brought this up recently with my food co-op, on which I'm on the board of it. You'd think I should have some influence, and there doesn't seem to be happening. But they told me that the produce comes with the stickers on it,
Right.
so the store itself can't necessarily do anything. But I have also been to stores where those stickers are paper. If they're paper, you can put them into
Right.
your compost.
Exactly. I've seen them too, but most are plastic, right?
Those paper ones are actually bilayer.
Oh no, are they really?
Yes.
They are.
I thought I saw
Uh,
something about a bio-based ink or laser process
Yes.
or something for,
There are inks you can use that are reasonably durable and not toxic.
and
Don't have.
just so you know, the whole reason that these gained in popularity is because of the self-checkout things and because they were trying to reduce labor.
Yeah.
Yet another attack on labor.
So I just want to tell everybody when I shop, I take all the stickers off and I put it on the other thing. So the bananas, it's awful. It's just awful. And then I will audibly complain to others that may be there. It's like, why do they put all these stickers on there? And then they're like, yeah, I know. So anyway.
So they can scan it.
Yeah, I think most managers don't have control over this or even talk to their suppliers. There's so many layers now.
Yeah.
It's another reason for buying local as much as you can.
Yep.
If you have agricultural produce in your area that you can take advantage of, it's willing to pay a little bit extra for it. You'll get rid of that whole problem because you can actually talk to them.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I buy everything directly from the farm, but my little sinful purchases is the banana, the avocado, and the lemon.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
three.
you never get to 100%, but every 10% makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I buy all my meat from butchers, so my husband is a carnivore, so we need meat in the house. So it was always an issue when I became, since 2019, we do plastic and packaging reduction. So I bring in a container to my butcher and I have them weigh out the meat and they drop it in and then they give me a sticker, the ubiquitous sticker in the grocery store, and then I just do self checkout and everything, so a net zero going in without having anything out. So one day I was at the butcher and the butcher's, I was complaining about all the plastic and the butcher goes, "You see all those people over there that are gathered? That is all the management for the store." And so he sends me over there and I
Nice.
tell them I have issues. Okay, I have a hang up. I can't do plastic. And right now I'm searching for applesauce. Maybe even in an aluminum can would be great. And so anyway, so they kind of laughed because I guess nobody goes to the grocery store and accosts the whole management team about what they've got problems. And it was a Safeway or a Fred Meyer's. I was out in Oregon at the time. Anyway, and so when I was at Oregon a couple weeks ago, I noticed, and this is new, that they put in a section in their store that has like glass cranberry juice, and it is like my section. It doesn't have everything I needed, but we were making crown apple with cranberry juice, and I couldn't find cranberry juice, and so we were searching, and sure enough, that same store gave me something that I needed.
Just a tip on complaining. I worked in quality assurance for years. For every person that complains, they calculate there are 8 to 10 people who are having the same problem but aren't complaining. So when you
Yes,
go to talk to somebody, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing 8 or 10 other people.
thank you.
Susan, I think that's a win. I'm going to take it as one of those small wins.
I know. It was so great.
Right?
And then I just felt so great about it. And then I'm thinking, I need to ask more butchers where those management teams are,
Right.
why can't one of us, I mean, why can't an individual make an appointment with a store manager? Because they have buyers and those buyers have options to buy. It's like glass milk, milk in glass bottles that you pay a
Right.
deposit. Those are hard to find. I have found them. But that's again a 360 turn, except for the plastic cap. But there's no reason why any one of us cannot make an appointment with a grocery store or wherever we're shopping and express our opinions. Awareness is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Agreed.
at the premium stores, where you pay more for that stuff, yeah, but I mean, what's going to happen with the folks that have barely enough budget to get their food from Walmart's? They probably have a lot of kids, so they're vulnerable populations. I
Actually,
worry about how all the baby food has changed to those little plastic pouches that have the little spin-off lids too.
Yes,
I mean, these are little bodies that are so vulnerable to all of the plastic stuff.
yes.
And you see so many kids just sitting in a stroller, being pushed around, sucking on these things, and older kids too.
some of the grocery stores that serve lower income do use bulk packaging because lots of times they're selling to large families. And instead of going the Costco route and putting huge amounts of plastic on a huge amount of food, they actually still have burlap bags for flour. They have glass bottles for reuse. Uh, so the more
And
localized,
that's in Arizona.
that's
You see that?
Bash's still does that.
Oh yeah, I've been to there.
Mhm. Or at least they did a couple of years ago. I haven't been back there for a couple of years.
I mean, around here we have Dollar Tree, which just has packaging within packaging within packaging.
Yeah,
They try to make the packaging as small as possible to hit that price point.
yeah.
I was gonna mention for the fruit stickers, it's not a solution, but like a way to raise awareness is at the Miami Marathon, like we had given out a bunch of, well, not me, but Chiquita bananas, like they were giving those out to all the runners. And then our local composters were composting the bananas. So what they did is they got like a giant banana statue. And so every single runner had to like put the sticker onto the banana. And then when you saw the banana like just full of the stickers, it really made people realize like, why do we even have the sticker in the first place? So like doing something like that might help if you want to like have a campaign to raise awareness to take those stickers away from the fruits, like just have people put them onto statues to show like how many there really is when it's all accumulated.
I love that.
Yeah,
And I
me
think I ran
too.
across stores in the UK that did not have stickers, but they have, and there's a lot more self-checkout there. And they just have a menuing system on their checkout so that you get into produce and then you press the picture of the produce you're looking at and that's what you ring up.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah,
So there
and
are
so
options.
yeah, and Suzette, if you hear about any initiative that you could share with us about, that we can get together and try to support a petition, or how to get in touch with the people who put those labels, because I don't think it is the supermarket managers that have the power to do anything about it, but how can we find out how to get in touch with the people who actually put the stickers, so we could maybe at least write them a letter from a consumer point of view. I don't even know if they know about it.
Yeah, I
Sarah?
think this comes up a lot as I'm talking to people across the country, and some of the conversation we've had internally is about, unfortunately, these aren't the decisions that this grocery stores are making independently. The food is being shipped already packaged and lots of stickers. And so it's a matter of, do we want to come up with a campaign that's targeting certain companies or corporations that are doing this packaging? And so we'll put that into the mix of things, of actions that we'll look at. So we're going to figure out kind of collective actions for next year.
Right.
And I do talk to a lot of people that are super concerned about plastic in grocery stores. So I think, to your point, we have to go up the chain to get to the decision makers who are doing the packaging.
Exactly.
The growers associations are good targets.
Yes.
And if you know an individual orchard that's advertising it for selling fruit, get a hold of them. For example, Talbot Orchards in Grand Junction, Colorado, where I lived before here, they put the stickers on as they come down the sorting line. They're sorted for size, color, weight, and then the ones that are going into commercial shipping off for groceries, the stickers are put on then. It's an automatic, the machine puts them on automatically. And those, so you can attack it at that point if you need to. But growers associations are another great way to do it. Every state has grower associations for various commodity crops.
But presumably they added that feature to their production line because there was somebody telling them to do that.
Right.
Right?
Well, there was an economic incentive for sales. They weren't telling them to do it, but they were convincing them that they needed to sell to them, because they used to sell everything themselves. And they found out their costs of sales were less than what they could get for third-party marketing for them. So that's what they did.
No, I'm talking about the days before there was any marking at all. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
this is all within our lifetimes. This is not been ingrained. In fact, maybe it's only 20 or 30 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Last few decades is when it really has taken hold.
Martha, go ahead.
Yeah, I know those stickers are annoying, but I'm thinking this sounds a little bit reminiscent of people getting upset about plastic straws, when that's not really the biggest impact that we can have. The biggest impact is not plastic straws or tiny plastic stickers, in my opinion.
Go ahead, take it a step further, Martha.
Well, I don't know what to say at that point. I just kind of want people to maybe refocus a little bit on where we can have the biggest impact. That, in my opinion, isn't the crap that they're forcing down our throats, okay? In terms of bombarding us with plastic, in terms of what the fossil fuel industry is doing. It's really all the unnecessary stuff. I think that the producers or whatever, they do need a way to mark the produce so that when you get to the register, the person rings it up properly. If you bring an organic avocado to the checkout counter with no sticker on it, they're probably going to price it as non-organic. You get a lower price, but that doesn't benefit the grocery store, obviously. So again, I just think that we should be thinking bigger in terms of how we're drowning in plastic. We're not really drowning in those tiny stickers.
Go ahead, Mary. Marianne.
So my biggest thing about the groceries, not my biggest thing, I have a lot of big things, but mine is produce wrapped, hermetically sealed in plastic, and then labeled organic. Now that's a freaking oxymoron, and they are morons, but that's one of my big beefs, not the stickers, but here, have this squash, this organic squash. Yeah, you just wrap it in petrochemicals, great.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you
Mhm.
have any chance of really being organic, you blew it there. That's it. It's done. That is really freaking annoying me. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but pardon me, but how can I do
Thanks,
that?
everybody. I got to go. Thanks. I love this
Thanks,
discussion.
Stephen. Nice to
Yeah,
see
I
you.
gotta go
Stephen.
too. Thank you so much. Love seeing you all.
Me too. Bye, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Hi, Brian. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Suzette. Appreciate it. Sorry, I was on a Manhattan Solid Waste Advisory Board call earlier.
The work is never done, huh?
No, no. So,
That's great. Well, nice to see everybody. We'll look forward to seeing you next month.
okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Fight the good fight, Martha. All right, Stephen, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
All right, bye-bye.
bye.